Can the trolls get the band back together to stop this mysterious musical threat? Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Pass. Today I'm here to talk to you about Trolls Band Together, which comes to theaters on November 17th, 2023. It is a new musical entry in the Trolls franchise. We haven't had a new Trolls movie since Trolls World Tour, which came out during the pandemic. That was so long ago, and that was such a good movie. Does Trolls Band Together continue the strong trend that Trolls World Tour did? Well, yes and no. My hot take is, look, I think you should rent it. It is a fun family adventure that has music, it has new characters, but it also kind of feels like the writers were just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall to get something to stick. There are a lot of like big new revelations that seem like you would have known before, and the story is just kind of a little bit of a mess. But hey, look, my kids loved it. Your kids will probably love it. It's got some good music. It's got some beautiful animation. So it's still a fun movie. I would rent it, but if you see it in theaters, you probably aren't going to be too disappointed. Now, for kids, look, it's fine for kids. I think there is a little bit of rude humor and some jokes that kind of feel geared more towards adults, but I don't think your kids are going to know this. And it does kind of make it nice to have some funny adult type jokes. So overall, I think it's fine for kids. I took my kids. I think they loved it. They didn't have any problems. So definitely pretty family friendly film. So that being said, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the movie, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending section. If you don't want to know what happens in this movie, I would turn off when I get there. Before that, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler-free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in Trolls Band Together, you have a new revelation about Branch, everyone's favorite kind of like ho-hum poppy sidekick. We find out that years ago, he was in a boy band called Brozone with his 4 brothers. Revelation, Branch was in a boy band. Branch has brothers. All this is new information, and Branch seems to be a little bit haunted by this until one of his brothers shows up saying that they need to get the band back together to save another one. One of their brothers is in trouble, and they've got to get all the other Brozone trolls together to go save him. Are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to be able to overcome this long animosity for the better of the team and the band? Well, you'll have to watch the movie to find out. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, animation. It is gorgeous animation. I love how the film has like a playful paper craft-ish, crafty kind of style. Like the trolls themselves look great. They're a little bit fuzzy. They've got really great hair, obviously, and all of their like accessories feel like toys type things, kind of like how the Lego movie does it with everything being Legos. These aren't like Legos, but they all feel like kind of toy-like in their way. Like the sea is a bunch of like little beads, like, you know, those little gel beads that you can put in water and they pop up. The sea is that. Some of the drinks have beads in them. Some of the drinks look like plastic toy straws, things like that. It definitely feels like a movie that is crafted from toys. And there are also some very nice styles. Like the trolls are bright, colorful, fuzzy. Some of the later scenes are a little more plasticky. They have a different feel to it, feel like a different, you know, type of toy, which is great. So I do like how the animation was just kind of beautiful throughout and also changed throughout. The second thing I love, look, I like the music. It's a Trolls movie. You hope they have good music. The last 2 films have had pretty good songs. This one has good songs. It's not as good as Trolls World Tour. I keep going back to Trolls World Tour. I loved Trolls World Tour. I thought it was a fantastic movie, but this music is good. It kind of fully embraces the boy band undertones of this film. There's a really great medley that brings in like songs from a bunch of different boy bands, not just, you know, your prototypical NSYNC Backstreet Boys boy bands, like Boys to Men, New Kids on the Block, all sorts of different boy bands throughout. It is a really great medley. And there are other like boy band inspired songs throughout this film. And the last thing I love, look, it's funny. It is definitely a funny movie. It's got some jokes for kids, got some jokes for adults. I was laughing at a lot of them. I was laughing at some that I don't think the kids are going to get, but they are very funny as well. And the film does some really great jobs of puns because it's a kind of boy band inspired film. You have a couple scenes where you have like boy band puns back to back to back, and it is really good. Well, so things I didn't love as much. The story is, it's just kind of crazy. Like, there are some big revelations that come early on that you're like, I feel like we would have known about that before. Now, look, it's a kid's movie. They have to change it up. They can't do the same thing every time. So I understand that, but it just feels like some of the things that they are doing and saying in this, you would have known earlier. It's just like all of a sudden, like I said, Branch has 4 brothers and he was in a boy band. Who would have known? You would think that people would have known. Poppy is apparently a big fan of this boy band and she has no idea. So again, it's fine. It gets the job done, but it does feel like a little bit of like the writers were just trying to figure out something else to kind of tie music into Trolls. And the second thing I didn't love as much, it is just very, very random. And that is kind of related to the story. It just really feels like everything is out of left field. Everything is kind of like throwing ideas against the wall to see what sticks. Their transportation in this is like a caterpillar looking thing, kind of like the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. It very much like that. They go to different like locations to get their brothers, and they are very, very different and also very, very random. There are lots of new revelations in this, not just that Branch has brothers. There's some other family revelations as well that you're like, huh, that feels like that would have come up before, and all of a sudden, boom, here it is. Again, it's fine. It's a kids movie. It gets the job done. It gets you from point A to point B with some good music and some fun scenes. But if you're trying to like actually follow the story, it just doesn't really make a ton of sense, which happens. But like, look, like Trolls World Tour, I thought had a really great kind of theme. And then you went to those different musical troll worlds, which I thought was great. And it all kind of fit together. This one, it just feels like they're trying to keep that similar style. Like you have to get new brothers, so you have to go to different places, but it doesn't have the same kind of continuity and the same kind of like overarching theme that the previous movie did. So look, it's not a bad movie. It's an enjoyable movie. My kids loved it. I enjoyed it. So if check out Trolls Band Together. I think you should rent it. But look, if you see it in theaters, you'll probably like it. If you've got kids, they'll probably like it too. So I'm going to go into the ending right now. If you don't know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So this movie starts at the wedding of King Gristle and Bridget, our friends from the original Trolls that just didn't show up in Trolls World Tour. Well, they're back, and it's a wedding. Poppy is the maid of honor. The trolls are all there. It is a beautiful, beautiful affair. But someone interrupts this wedding, and it is one of Branch's brothers. Surprise, Branch has brothers. He tells them that one of their brothers, Floyd, is in trouble. He's been kidnapped by this new pop band, Velvet and Veneer, and they have been stealing his talent in order to fuel themselves. They are talentless, but they've been stealing his talent in order to fuel their own careers. And this brother is worried that they're not going to be able to make it. They're not going to be able to save him in time. They have to get the band back together in order to go save him. Now, the reason they have to get the band together is because their brother is being held in this diamond prison. And the only way to break a diamond, apparently, is to have a perfect family harmony. Sure, why not? They have to get the band together and do a perfect family harmony in order to break Diamond and free Floyd. Again, very random. Okay, this is at a wedding. This brother interrupts the wedding, and Branch is like, I don't want to go. Poppy's like, you have to go. It's your brother. And Poppy's like, let's go. And so they leave during the vows of this wedding, where Poppy is the maid of honor to save a brother that Branch like had abandoned and that no one knew existed until recently. Sure, why not? They leave, the wedding happens, they go on this tour to try to find their brothers, and they have to break down these clues that Branch apparently has a full clue board he's been working on to try to find his brothers that Poppy never noticed, that no one's ever said anything. Okay, great, fine. They go to the various brothers. They've all grown up. They've all grown out of their bro zone phase. Now, the brothers in the bro zone were Floyd. He was the sensitive one. He's the one that's captured. There was John Donnie, who's the leader. He's the one that comes and tells Branch that we need to go. There was Spruce, who was the heartthrob. And then there was Clay, who was the fun one. And then also there was Baby B, or Branch, who was the baby. So they've got John Donnie. They've got Branch. They know where Floyd is. They have to get the other two. So first, they go to Spruce. Now, Spruce, he was a heartthrob, and he is now living on this like island. He's grown up. He's married this person that's kind of like a Muppet, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what kind of toy she is. And they have a ton of kids, and they're like, we gotta get the band back together. He's like, okay, like we'll do it. So they go. Now they have to find Clay. Clay is in this like abandoned goblin mini golf course, and they were there before, before the trolls, and I think they're the goblins, whatever King Gristle and Bridget are. Before they made peace, Clay and a bunch of trolls all went into this mini golf course for refuge, and they've stayed there ever since. They don't know anything about the outside world. They don't know that everything is at peace. When Branch, Poppy, John Donnie, and Spruce all go there, they get captured, but then they realize, oh, look, it's trolls, and everything's fine. Everything's happy. Now, Clay can't leave because his wife, girlfriend, whatever, Viva, who is also a leader of this place, is afraid of the outside world. She doesn't want to go out. She's worried about the goblins. And so she tries to trap them all. Now, Clay, understanding the situation, understanding like what he has to do, they sneak out, and Viva doesn't join them. But before this, there's another revelation. Viva is apparently Poppy's sister. Sure, why not? Like, apparently, during one of the fights or something like that, the troll king saved Poppy, but Viva was like buried in a cave, and he went back to go find her. He couldn't find her. He just found like a bracelet, and so he assumed that she was dead. He never looked for her. He never dug out the tunnel to see where she was. He just assumed that she was dead and never told Poppy about her long lost sister. Sure. So they come to this realization randomly because I think they're talking about like their parents, and then they have like a similar bracelet that they had. Somehow they figured out, they're all happy. Yay, we're family. But then remember, Viva doesn't want to leave. Poppy has to help Branch and the other Brozone members save Floyd. So they all leave and Viva stays behind. Okay, that's fine. Branch and the group go save Floyd. Now, King Gristle and Bridget are on their honeymoon. They had a lovely honeymoon. They're driving back. They're going by this abandoned mini golf course, and they smell some food. And they're like, oh, let's get a snack. And so they go in. They get captured by these trolls who think that there's like a war outside. They're about to get killed. And that's when Viva recognizes Bridget. They're like literally about to get killed. They're going into like a clown mouth that is chomping down. And Viva's like, oh, you look like Bridget. Like, you know Poppy? And she's like, oh, yeah, Poppy's my best friend. And Viva's like, oh, I'm her sister. She's like, oh, that makes you my best friend too. And they instantly make up, I guess, even though Viva just tried to kill her. Okay, whatever. So it seems like maybe Viva is now learning that the goblins or whatever they are not all bad. Okay. So back to the rescue. So Velvet and Veneer are in this like nightclub super city, and they're about to perform this big show. They're about to get like a lifetime achievement award, I guess, or something like that. And they are draining Floyd of all his essence, but they set a trap. So the way that John Donnie knew that Floyd was in trouble was he got a note from Floyd. Well, it turns out that Velvet was the one that wrote that note. She sent a note to him to lure the Brozone crew back so she could have more trolls to take their essence and continue their career. Well, they all show up and get captured, except for Branch, Poppy, and Tiny Diamond, because earlier, when they were going to go save Floyd, Branch got annoyed because the boys were fighting again. It was like kind of back to old times. John Donnie was trying to lead them. The others weren't following. This is why they broke up in the first place. And Branch is like, look, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to leave, which didn't seem to make much sense if he didn't want them to break up. So he's going to leave and go on his own. But Poppy goes with him, and so is Tiny Diamond. So they are separate from the other Brozone folks. Now, the other Brozone characters get captured. They get locked in essence-stealing prisons. And it's up to Branch and Poppy and Tiny Diamond to save them. Now, what happens is at the red carpet when Velvet and Veneer are coming to like accept their award and do this like big concert, Branch shows up and accuses them of stealing their talent. And rather than like laughing it off, which they should have, like, oh, that's so silly. Why would you do that? They also are wearing these like shoulder pads that have the trolls in their shoulders in translucent cases. So if you're going to accuse them, it's pretty obvious that they're doing that. So they try to like cover it up and jump in their car and like drive away. Well, Branch and Poppy and Tiny Diamond pursue. They get on their car. They have a fight. They free some of the trolls. They free most of them, but Floyd is still trapped. And just when it looks like something bad is going to happen, just when it looks like Velvet and Veneer are going to win, they're about to like push the trolls off. Who shows up? But Bridget, King Gristle, and Viva. They all show up to help out their friends. They come. They like they're on a motorcycle. They jump off onto this onto the car that Velvet and Veneer are driving that has all the other trolls. They save the other trolls from like falling off the car, and now everyone's there, including Viva. The band starts singing. They get in sync, and of course, their like cameras are on them, so everyone can see the talent that the trolls have. They do their thing, but also what they realize is like they just can't have John Donnie like telling them what to do. Perfect choreography. No. Branch has to do something that Poppy said. It's like harmony is not perfection, it is just harmony. So they all have to kind of do their own thing, and when they do their own thing together, they become in harmony. So they sing, Poppy sings, Viva sings, and this kind of revives Floyd, and Floyd starts singing too, and they finally hit the perfect harmony. The diamond things shatter, and everyone's free. But it seems like Floyd is very, very hurt. He is becoming more translucent as his talent has been drained, and now he is like a fully translucent toy, which Great marketing opportunity. I bet Funko is going to have like some sort of like translucent Floyd toy. Maybe all of them will be translucent. Who knows? But it seems like maybe they were a little bit too late. But as the family gets together, some more color gets back on Floyd and he revives. Now, Velvet and Veneer had captured Floyd and were using him to like fuel their career, but Veneer seemed to have more of a conscience. He was a little bit upset about this. He was not liking that they were fully draining Floyd. He kept saying like, oh, let's not overdo it. Let's not overdo it. And Velvet's like, no. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to get more trolls. Well, after it seems pretty clear that their plan is up, Veneer goes and confesses everything on camera to everyone. Well, clearly he gets arrested. They both get arrested for troll napping and, troll torture, all that kind of stuff. And they get taken away. So now it seems like everything is fine. They go back to Paradise Island, which is where Spruce was from, and are doing a concert. And you're like, okay, great. Like the whole band is going to be there. It'll be fun. They'll do a concert. We'll get some credits. And just when they're about to go on, we see a new set of 4 trolls who look very much like the NSYNC trolls. Well, surprise, NSYNC has a cameo at the end. Branch turns to his brothers and says, you didn't think Brozone was the only boy band I was in, which was like, kind of seemed like it since you gave up boy banding after they all left and then talked about how terrible your life was, taking care of your grandmother and waiting for them to come back. That's a convenient reason for NSYNC to have a cameo. Branch sings with NSYNC. They have a fun little medley, but also it felt a little bit kind of, I don't know, counterproductive to the whole story, to the whole like moral of the story. He finally had all his brothers together. They should have done a song together. That would have made more sense. If you want NSYNC to be part of this, make NSYNC all the brothers. That would have been fun also. But he does a song with NSYNC. During the song, Poppy comes in and starts singing too. The other brothers eventually join in, and it's a bigger medley. But again, it felt like kind of a weird moral of the story to be like, you get all your family back together. Now I'm going to go sing with another group. I understand why. Marketing, great. So during the credits, there's also a little bit of a fun scene. Tiny Diamond is talking to a therapist. And there was earlier, I think, maybe John Donnie was talking to a therapist. One of the trolls was talking to a therapist. Oh, it was King. It was the King. The King was talking to a therapist. And there was like a fun scene where he's like laying his heart out and the therapist like doesn't say anything. Well, now Tiny Diamond is talking to this therapist and he's talking about the adventure and he says, this is covered by insurance, right? And the therapist goes, no, I'm out of network. The end. Again, funny joke. Probably not something kids are going to get, but it was a funny little like weird situation. After all the credits, there was one last line from Poppy. Not worth staying for the credits, but the Tiny Diamond scene is at least a little bit fun. So that's it. Everyone's happy. The Brozone band is together. NSYNC is apparently together. Where will they go from here? I don't know. I am not as excited about the 4th Trolls movie as I was about the 3rd, given how much I liked World Tour versus this one, but it was still fun. I'm sure they'll do something. Maybe it'll be an NSYNC versus Backstreet battle. That would be fun. Hey, why not? But that is Trolls Band Together. It is coming to theaters on November 17th, 2023. Like I said, I think you should probably rent it. But again, if you see it in theaters, they'll probably have a good time. If you got kids, I'm sure they'll love it. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.